All righty, folks. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We're going to start it out with Baron Browning. So let's let Clay Hall lead us off. Clay.
Hey, Baron. There's seems like a lot, maybe not a lot, but coaches who are intimating that Ohio State doesn't belong in the playoff. Is that a distraction, or you're sort of zoned in on Northwestern? You'll worry about that later.
I mean, I feel like everybody has their own opinion. I mean, we're not worried about that. We're just focused on getting better every day and just getting ready for Saturday. That's the main focus and the main goal.
What do you like best about this group right now, headed into this game?
As far as our team as a whole?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I just like our mindset. I mean, we've been competing. I mean, our game got canceled last week. So, I mean, we were just scrimmaging pretty much against each other. We was competing, getting better every day. So, I just love competing against my teammates and us just making one another better.
The old iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty, we'll go next. Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Hey, Baron, what was, looking back on it now, the toughest part about converting to Sam full-time this year? And maybe, I guess, what are you maybe the most proud of that you had to have successfully overcome to play well there?
I won't say it was necessarily hard, but it was just different as far as, the keys I had to read, being at Sam versus Mike. And Mike, I was doing like a lot of more, making sure everybody was straight before the snap. At Sam, it's just kind of, identifying my one job and then just going for it. I think the biggest challenge for me, though, was just kind of used to being back outside and using my hands, more, kind of just setting the edge of the defense more. I mean, just another, I feel like, part of the area of my game that, I got a chance to improve.
How has Pete helped you throughout the season with, I guess, just, did you go to him with like little questions, ways to read things, how to see things? How did he help you?
I really go to him a lot, just simple fact, I was leaning more so on Coach Madison, my coach, and I knew Pete was trying to learn his new position, Will, so I didn't want to, kind of add more, I guess, more on his plate, trying to help me. But, I mean, we kind of just laugh to joke about different things, pros and cons of being Sam, or pros and cons of being at Will. So, I mean, we just crack jokes about it. But I mainly leaned on Coach Madison. He helped me a lot. I mean, he critiqued me every day. I mean, he made me a better player every day. I love going to work every day with Coach Madison.
Thanks.
All righty. Next up, Jared Smalley, WCMH.
Hi, Baron. Watching the tape last week, as you all did. I guess you watched it live, right? In the Woody. Playing a team that ran for 400 yards last week. When you play linebacker and you're getting ready to play a team that ran for 400 coming off the last week, how does that motivate you, encourage you? It's a physical challenge. It's a little bit different. How are you preparing yourself for that?
I mean, just every day in practice, we try not to let, the scout team that we're going against us or that's giving us a look not run up the middle of our defense. I feel like if you want to have a great defense, the first thing you have to be able to do is stop the run. And that's, our mindset, stopping the run first and then reacting to the pass.
All righty, we'll go next to Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Baron, has this season been what you hoped it would be for you personally?
I mean, I feel like it hasn't been, what nobody expected. It's been kind of a little weird as far as, expecting to play a 12-game season, then having games canceled. I mean, I feel like this year just helped me appreciate, every game because, this game Saturday is not promised, so just cherishing what I can, especially this is my last year.
Okay. And along those same lines, Pete Werner is going to be playing his hometown for his fourth straight Big Ten championship. How special is that, and what has he meant to this team?
I mean, he means a lot. That's my brother. I mean, Pete's a guy, he's in my class. I mean, we joke around all the time. I mean, we used to stay in the same apartment not too long ago. So, I mean, me and Pete got a pretty close relationship. And, he means a lot to this team, this defense, and he means a lot to me as, as a brother.
Thanks, man.
Let's go next to Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Hey, Baron, you mentioned, not getting to play all those games in your senior year. Just what was it like for you, knowing that, you missed out on that opportunity to play in your final home game?
I mean, I feel like, it wouldn't sit well with anybody, but, I mean, that's life. I can only control what I can control. I mean, I can't sit here and act like, I moved on immediately afterwards that we found out it was canceled. It took a day or two, but, I mean, I had to shift my mindset to get ready for Northwestern.
does it give you additional motivation for, this game, that knowing that you've only got a couple more left as a Buckeye?
Absolutely. I'm trying to cherish everyone, and I feel like that's the mindset of all the other seniors. We just all lean on one another and trying to make the most of our last few moments as a Buckeye.
Thanks, Baron.
All righty, we'll go next to Mitch Stacy, Associated Press.
Hey, Baron. The way you guys got into the Big Ten championship game by a vote of the administrators, how much does that motivate you to to prove something on Saturday? How much do you think you have to prove something on the field? Because
I'm not fighting to cut you off. But I was just going to say, I feel like every Saturday in the Big Ten, you got to prove yourself because, any given Saturday, anything can happen in this conference. So, each Saturday we go out there taking one game at a time. And I feel like, there's definitely a lot of stake this Saturday. So we're just trying to go out there and get the W, and chase our fourth Big Ten title.
Alrighty, next up, Andy Anders, Press Pros.
Yeah, Baron. So for this linebacking core on the season, it seemed like against Nebraska, you guys had some issues defending the quarterback run, and then a few guys out of position on a few plays. And then the longer the season has gone on, it seems the better and better this team has done against the run. Now one of the top 10 run defenses in the country, yards per game. So I'm kind of wondering what your thoughts are on why there's been such an upward trajectory in your guys' linebacking play against the run.
I think it all just starts with holding guys accountable, calling guys out when they know, if they messed up on that job and just being held accountable every play. And I think it starts every day in practice, one rep at a time, holding guys accountable. I mean, Tough calls me out if I mess up some or, ask me, what might have happened. I mean, we just all coach each other up. I mean, Coach Wash is very hands-on, Coach Madison. I mean, I just think just the way our group has grown over since I've been here since from my freshman year to now. I mean, we've grew so much and made so much progress again, getting it back, I feel like, to that standard of linebacker play.
Alrighty, next up, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on SI.
Hey, Baron, thanks for spending a little time with us here, man. First question I want to ask you is actually about the guys on the other side of the ball from you. The Big Ten all-conference team for offense came out today. I know the defense is coming out later this week here. I'm curious, as you watch Justin Fields and the remarkable run of success that obviously he's had, but that Ohio State has had at quarterback, what things do you notice about him on the field in particular that have made him such a standout player, compared to some of the other guys you see on a weekly basis?
I mean, just as a hard worker. Every day coming to work, he's coming to work to get better. I mean, I remember the other day, some of the young guys was complaining about, I guess because we was having a long practice and Justin's locker is next to mine. He's just like, it is what it is. Like, we get a chance to get better, today. And I was like, you're right. I mean, he just always got a positive mindset, every day we come to work. So, I mean, I love competing against him. I love being around him. He makes me better every day. So I just love competing against him. And he's a great leader also.
And the one other thing I want to ask you is about recruiting. Tomorrow is National Signing Day. And I read recently that one of the bigger misconceptions in recruiting is that guys are really drawn to program history and all the success on a broad perspective. Obviously, there's an awful lot of tradition and history at Ohio State. When you were going through your process, what mattered most to you? Was it your relationship with coaches? Was it the guys that were currently on the team? Was it your ability to play right away? What stood out to you in your recruiting process?
I mean, for me, it was simple. It was two things. I knew I wanted to go to the best place to develop me on the field and off the field, and I found that here at Ohio State. I mean, I had great relationships with other coaches at other schools, but, I didn't choose to go there because I knew the two things I was looking for in Ohio State provided that. I mean, even when the coach who recruited me, Coach Fickle, left, I still stayed committed to Ohio State. I didn't flip. So I knew exactly what I was looking for, and I feel like I got that, got that and some coming to Ohio State.
Thanks, man. Good luck tomorrow. Or I should say Saturday.
All right, we got time for two more questions. We'll start it out with Spencer Holbrook. Spencer?
I mean, it just added more fuel to the fire. I mean, we was thinking about him the whole time. We didn't have him versus Michigan State. I mean, he sent us a text before the game, and I know it was killing him not being able to be there with us. I mean, Tough is a great leader, a great friend, a great brother. I mean, I leaned on him a lot as a young guy. I mean, he means a lot to this unit. I mean, he's like the foundation of our unit, you know. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you obviously gonna notice a change when you're missing a guy like Tough Borland. Same could be said for Pete Warner, Justin. I mean, all those guys. I mean, I lean on every one of those guys. You know, they obviously bring energy, and you know, they're just an energy source to our unit.
Alrighty, and last question to Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Thank you. Baron, ever since you've been at Ohio State, you've played for a Big Ten championship. Actually, you've won it. You know, y'all have won it ever since you've been at Ohio State. What is behind this run of success for this team at the top of the Big Ten? You know, yesterday, Jonathan Cooper talked about the brotherhood that's involved. And past that, what do you see that's just special about this program at this moment in time?
I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. The brotherhood. I mean, just you know, I talked about it the other day, but just cherishing. You know, we just cherish each other. I mean, there's not nothing I want to do for my brother. I mean, it's just the way Coach Day has enhanced our culture, just the love that we have for one another. I mean, it kind of sounds kind of simple to say, but I mean, I guess you just have to be a part of it to understand just the love we have for one another. I mean, just not letting a guy down next to you. I mean, we take a lot of pride in that day in, day out. A lot of pride.
Yeah. Is that the reason y'all been able to rebound from one disappointment after another this year, do you think? I mean, have y'all leaned on each other? How would you explain it?
Everything we done went through this year, we done went through it together. I mean, we never wavered, we never broke apart. Coach Day always kept us together, and we just kept getting stronger and stronger as a team and as a position units.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All righty, Baron. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Y'all take it easy.
Okay. All right. Started out here with Patrick Murphy, 247.
I'm curious, this week, Big Ten championship, obviously a big deal, but you didn't have the Michigan game last week. You haven't had the normal year you guys have gone through. Does it have the same feeling of playing for a Big Ten championship as in other years when things are more traditional?
It's definitely not traditional, like you said, but the whole motto of this year is just be versatile and prepare for anything because anything can happen. And it's not like it's our first week playing off of a game that got canceled. We kind of got our schedule worked out earlier in the year, so we kind of been doing the same schedule for the third time now. So, I mean, earlier when this whole thing just opened up with COVID, we just wanted to play for a Big Ten championship. That's why everybody came back. And now we're here. So, I mean, we prepared for it the same as we would prepare for any other game. And now we're just playing for the big ring.
All righty, we'll go next to Jacob Benji from the Lantern.
Yeah, hey, Jeremy. Last year in the Big Ten title game, you kind of made that Jumpman-esque catch. I'm curious how often you look back at that and how important playing in Lucas Oil is for you.
It was obviously a special moment, and just grateful to be in that moment. But I mean, I don't really look back at it that much. A lot of people talk to me about it and reminisce about it with me. So I feel like the only time I really talk about it is when someone talks about it to me. But you know, it's a new year. I don't really like talking about what happened in years past. And anytime you get to go up there in Indy and play, it's special for this program, and we make it special. So I mean, that's our focus every year is to get to Indy, and we're here now. So anytime you get the chance to make a play, hopefully you'll be able to do that. And same goes for this year.
Yeah, for sure. So like the last couple of weeks, you know, just being involved in the passing game and serving as protection up front, how important has that been in practice? And, you know, just your thoughts on helping out with that offensive line recently.
Just goes to show how much of a great teammate our unit is and how much we care about this team, because we'll just do whatever the coaches ask us to do each week. And just goes back to the summer and the spring. You know, we've been kind of a group the team can rely on with the workouts and everything. We've been trying to just be the best leaders we can, the best teammates we can be. And I think you see that on the field because we can I think we're very well-rounded as a unit, and we pretty much do whatever they ask us to do. So, like you said, the last couple of weeks, it was more in the protection game, and I feel like we did a pretty good job of that, especially with the young offensive line.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go next to Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Jimmy, I did have one other question about the catch from last year, but just in terms of, did that moment open your eyes at all to what was possible for yourself as a receiver? Did it make you give you kind of maybe a new perspective on what you were capable of on the field?
I mean, I'm very confident in my abilities, so I feel like I've always been capable of doing that, and I knew I had it in me. It's just being in the right position to do so. And you know, like I said before, we're willing to do anything for this team and just be ready for any position we need to be in to make a play. And that's kind of how I've been trying to deal with this year, whenever I get the opportunity to make a play, just trying to do that. And I feel like that's kind of how I was at last year, and luckily it worked out.
All right, next up, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Hi, Jeremy. It seems like every year it's a little bit of the same story with the tight ends, but this year, obviously, you haven't played a lot of games and don't have a lot of catches, but I don't know that there's been a unit that's been praised as much as you guys have as consistently as the tight ends group. How well do you think you guys are playing, and how much do you feel kind of that love from the rest of the team?
I mean, we definitely feel it from our coaches and the rest of the team. They kind of always talk about how we just do whatever it takes and how we got to play in all aspects of the game. It really takes a long time to develop into the players we are. And as you can see, we have such an older unit to where they can rely on us to do all those things. We don't have to sub out and do different packages for different jobs. I feel like all the guys that we got are really well-rounded and able to do it all. And I think that just shows that the coaches are confident in us. And like I said earlier, when you have some issues, like with the young offensive line in there, being able to step in there and help them out, give them confidence, I think is just huge. And just being there to rely on for the players and the coaches.
And kind of along those lines, Luke Farrell has been just kind of quietly very, very solid his entire career. He just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. What would you want to say about his career?
I mean, if I didn't have Luke as a teammate, I wouldn't be playing as much as I am. I wouldn't be as good of a player as I am. I'd be very one-dimensional, and I just can't say enough about how much he's meant to me in my career and how much he means to this team. Pretty much every touchdown I've caught or every play I've made, it's because he's either blocking for me or he's setting up the route and kind of grab a guy so I can be open. So I mean, he's one of the most unselfish guys I've ever been around, and that kind of attitude spreads throughout our unit and our room. He's really just he leads us to just do whatever it takes for the team to win. And as you said, he just does everything he can at the highest level and doesn't really say much about it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, we'll go next to Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Hey, Jeremy, I'm curious, if you being a guy, you're in your junior year, you might have an NFL decision to consider after the season. Does it influence that at all when you've had such a short season and you don't get things like getting to play in the Michigan game this year?
I mean, I haven't really put much thought into any of that during the season. I mean, we've worked so hard just to get this season to be a thing. So, I mean, we're not really guaranteed anything. All we know is we're guaranteed today. And, you know, I just try and put all my focus on each day and stack those days up. And, I mean, like you said, there could be a decision, there could not be a decision to make, but all we're really focused on right now is staying healthy and keeping a good positive mindset going into each day and stacking those days up.
Do you see like a different level of motivation going into each game now that you guys haven't gotten to play as many as you usually would?
Definitely. I mean, like I said, our coaches, Coach Day and Coach Wilson in our unit, we've just been big on, we're not guaranteed anything. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. Like I said, we're just guaranteed what we have each and every day. If we pass that test in that morning, then we got that day. And you got to just make the most of it. And you don't know, like I said, you don't know what's coming tomorrow. You don't know what's coming 3 days from now, this weekend, next weekend. All you know is you pass that test, you get the day, and just make the most of it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Already next up, Clay Hall, WSYX.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you get the dub and 6 wins, is that good enough case to get in the playoff?
I mean, again, we haven't really been focusing on that. There's a lot of talk around that and on TV and everything like that. We've been kind of just trying to stay away from that. We listen to all the noise. We hear all the noise. We just try and put the best game we can, put the best play we can on film and just let them decide based off of that. So I'd say our only motivation is to trying to put the best game on film and just show them that we're one of the top teams and we'll let them make the decision based off what they think is right. And we can only control what we can control. And that's playing against Northwestern and trying to.
You bet. Coach Day always says he holds his breath with regard to testing. Is that the way it is for players too? Like, okay, we got through another day.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, I live alone. A bunch of the guys live with their roommates and everything, and you try and just not put yourself in a situation where you're exposed to someone. Every coach says just treat it like everybody you see has it, and try and stay away from them as much as possible. Stay inside as much as possible. Always wear the mask, and when you go test in the morning, you got that 15-minute window where it could come back, it could not come back, and you're just hoping that you survived another day, and then you get to play that day, and then just wait for the next one tomorrow.
Thank you.
All righty, next up, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now in SI.
Hey, Jeremy, actually kind of following up on a couple of questions from both Dan and Clay there. Most recently, Clay's question about holding your breath. The Pac-12 and the Big 12 have contingency plans. In fact, the Pac-12 has already, put in a second team with Washington not able to play in their conference title. And the Big 12 said if Oklahoma or Iowa State can't go, then Texas would go. The Big 10 says if Ohio State or if Northwestern can't play for any reason, then the championship game is a no contest. Do you guys talk about that, even if it's just kind of amongst yourselves? I mean, is that sort of like further reinforcement of, hey, we got to make sure we stay, healthy this week because there is no contingency plan if things go wrong?
To be honest, I didn't even know that was a thing until you just said it. But I mean, we know how big of a deal it is. We've been there past 3 years, and we have a chance to go get 4, and we just know how big of a deal it is to bring home that championship, and that's everything we play for. So I think now that you said that, that's another reason. But basically, just treating it as a championship, which it is, and that's the biggest, most important thing that we do as Ohio State Buckeyes, win championships, and we're just trying to put another banner up on that wall and do anything we can to do so. So, I mean, it's a huge deal for us, and we're going to treat it like that.
Yeah, fair enough. The other thing Dan had asked you a little bit about the potential NFL decision you might have to consider. I wanted to ask you a bit about your recruiting process, because I had read recently that it's kind of a misconception when guys are going through recruiting that, you know, they're infatuated with the history and tradition of a program, and that it's a lot more about who the coaches are there now and how they can help you achieve your goals of maybe getting to the next level or what you want to attain at that school. National Signing Day is tomorrow. So I'm interested if you can reflect a little bit about your recruitment process and how what you hoped your experience at Ohio State would be like, how that's played out for you, you know, so far.
Yeah, I mean, just going through the process, I definitely expanded all my options and visited everywhere. When I was younger, I visited all the SEC schools, visited all the Big Ten, some Pac-12 I talked to. I pretty much got a mix and a feel of pretty much every school, and everywhere I went, I was just comparing it to here. So I mean, I kind of just fell in love with the culture here, fell in love with the brotherhood, like you say. It's real, you can feel it, and you know, it's important to think about your self goals and what you want to be. And for me, it was obviously you want to catch a lot of balls, and I feel like that was one of my strengths coming out. But I wanted to become a complete player, and I think there was no better place to do that than come here. The culture, you're really just working every day at becoming a complete tight end at Ohio State, and you can go to other places and catch your balls and split out wide and everything. But I feel like coming here was a great decision for me, and developing into a tough all-around tight end, and I'm trying to keep getting better every day.
Already got time for two more. We'll go first to Mitch Stacy, Associated.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks for spending time with us today. Given how you got into the championship game with the vote of the administrators, how much do you guys feel like you have something to prove to everyone on the field Saturday?
It's pretty important, you know. Like you guys said before about the top four. I mean, we try not to think about it as much, but what it comes down to is every other school has more games than us, and we don't. So every game that we have is looked under a microscope, and you know, we try and just put the best game out there on film and really just dominate and execute every play, because that's what they're watching. They're watching every play. They watch how you win. They watch who you play against, each guy individually, and you know, we're trying to just put the best game on film that we can and just dominate and execute each play.
Thanks.
All righty, we'll wrap up, Jeremy, with Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Thank you very much. Jeremy, as you've studied this team, as you guys have gone along through this 2020 year, not just season, besides Luke Farrell, your good buddy, who has just impressed you from a player standpoint as a leader on this team, maybe someone who stepped up as the year went on and the disappointments came from left and right, et cetera. Yet here you guys are playing for a Big Ten championship and possible Final Four berth. Who's just impressed you as stepping up?
I mean, I don't know if he's stepped up. He's always been a leader, but as far as on the offensive side of the ball, you didn't really hear much of Coop until this year. You know, he's really stepped into that role of being like the team's leader.
Yeah.
He got the Blocko jersey and everything like that, and he's just been vocal with the whole team, not just the defense. And you really feel his energy. You feel how much passion he has for this team and for his city, because it's where he's from, and how important it is to him. So you kind of just feel that energy, and you want to rally behind the guy. And you know, all he's given to this program and all the years he's been here, you know, he just poured so much blood, sweat, and tears here. You kind of feel his energy. So I'd say he's probably one of the guys from an offensive side of the ball where you hear him when he's on defense, and you feel his energy.
You know, you talked a while ago about just the attraction of this program when you were being recruited, but now that you're into it deep, has it gotten stronger over the last couple of years? I mean, just give me from the inside out what it has felt like.
I feel like once I started to get on the field and play more, I played a little bit as a freshman, played more in the last year, and I'm playing a lot this year. I mean, as you play more, you really feel what it feels like to be out there and be with your brother, leaning on them, them leaning on you. And I feel like it's definitely grown a lot since I've been here. I love each and every guy on this team and would do anything for them. So definitely after the experience on the field and the experience off the field in the weight room and the workouts and everything, it just feels stronger and stronger every day you're here. And that's why you feel those guys like Justin Hilliard, Luke, Coop, and all those guys. You feel how much they've put into this program, and as you get older, you start to appreciate that even more.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep.
Jeremy, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it today.
Yes.
Folks, you probably noticed getting into the meeting today, it asked you for a passcode. Not exactly sure why that was, but because I didn't change anything when I set it up this time. But if it asks you tomorrow
You told us last week that you thought you'd still be able to play on Saturday no matter what after that knee injury. I'm just wondering how you felt on Saturday and if that weekend off was actually better for you.
Yeah, I definitely feel a lot better. Physically, I mean, obviously, emotionally, that was tough not being able to have that game. But yeah, I'm all ready to go for this week's game and feeling a lot better. So yeah, I mean, on the bright side, it definitely did help my knee get back on track.
And how did you maybe celebrate the Offensive Lineman of the Year award?
By having practice early this morning, so no, but honestly, it's really just crazy. I had found out right after practice, so this is all pretty fresh for me, and it's just really unbelievable. I feel very blessed and fortunate to have a coach like Coach Stud, who pushes me to reach awards like this and have high success. So I'm just really grateful for him, definitely.
Thanks, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
All righty, we'll go next to Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Hey, Wyatt, you mentioned how tough it was emotionally. You chose to be honored with the seniors on Saturday. Just how tough is that not actually getting to have that senior day in person?
Oh, man, it was really tough. I mean, especially when we found out super early in the week like that. I mean, that's all that I was, at least for me personally, that's what I was just thinking of. I was like, man, here we are on Saturday having a practice when, we'd be getting ready for a game right now. And, I mean, if anything this year has taught us is that, nothing's for certain. And, we kind of just had to bounce back from that and, try to move on as best as we could and just, full focus on Northwestern, which is what we've been doing. But, it's still really what was just hard was obviously that game, but, not being able to walk out the shoe from, one last time. And that was pretty tough.
How does that motivate you going into this week, knowing you've only got a couple games left as a Buckeye?
Extremely motivated. It's huge, and not even just that the only couple games. I mean, it's just taking it day by day and having the opportunity to even practice and to then play is something that I've definitely learned to appreciate more this year due to these circumstances. So motivation's at an all-time high, not just for me but for everyone else, because you don't even know, like tomorrow something could happen and you might not be playing. So just taking it day by day and just being grateful for each individual moment.
Thanks,
playing the game. Yep, no problem.
All right, next up, Patrick Murphy, 247.
Wyatt, with the way this season has gone, playing 5 games and being spaced out, now you're here in the middle of December going to the Big Ten championship game. Does it feel similar as last year, or does the championship game just not feel as real given that you haven't had that normal buildup of 12 games, the Michigan game, off to
to answer your question, I mean, it doesn't feel the same as last year. I mean, not having those games has been weird. I mean, it affects, everybody across the nation, not having games and having to bounce back. But, that's why, at least for us right now, the main focus is execution. Because like I was saying earlier, especially in practice, like you have very few reps to work at something and make sure that it's 100% accurate because, practice, as we know, is way different than a game. And then when you go out into the game, you got to make sure that you execute those reps at a high level because you might not have them again. So going into this Big Ten championship, it doesn't feel like a normal Big Ten championship. I mean, I think that we're all grateful that we got voted in to play in it. And, now we just got to execute at an even higher level. Practice this week, guys have been flying around having high energy because, it's championship season now. And, we don't want to leave a bad taste in our mouth like we did last year. And that's been our main focus. So, and, those teams, and we look at it from that perspective as well, those teams have been able to play a lot of games. They have more game experience than us. So that's why we've been trying to amp everything up. Practice has been amped up high, energy, a lot of physical reps that we need to simulate those game reps that we lost.
All right, we'll go next to Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Scoop.
How long does it take you to get over the lack of the Michigan game then?
I mean, just take it week by week. I mean, for me, it was, that whole week last week, that it was obviously on my mind. But then, moving forward, that's the one thing that we do is we regroup. It's what Coach Day preaches, regroup and hit the restart button. So, once we got our next assignment, which was Northwestern, for me, it's just been all focus on Northwestern. And I think you have to be like that, especially with how these circumstances are, because if you hold on to that, life moves on. And that's kind of just stuff that you got to adjust to.
Ryan Day has many times said that he truly believes that everything that has happened this year, you guys will be better for down the road, or you will have learned something from it, or there's this year that you can apply to your lives. Do you feel like you've already learned things about yourself based on what has happened this year?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I would say this year has definitely taught. I feel like everyone a bunch of life lessons going on, and now I've definitely learned. I've definitely learned to be more appreciative of the game of football and life itself. I mean, so many people lost their lives, unfortunately, this year to COVID, and then on the other half, the football aspect, people not being able to play after they've received COVID because of a heart condition. It's just crazy, it's made me become more grateful for what I have in my life going on up until this point.
All righty, we've got just a couple minutes left with Wyatt, and then we got Shaun Wade here for you. So we'll just take one question at a time here. We'll go to Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Hey, Wyatt, long before you were born, the Big Ten championship was basically it for Ohio State. You go to the Rose Bowl, win the Big Ten, go to the Rose Bowl. If you were in the national championship picture, that was just kind of a bonus, but the focus was really on the Big Ten. I get the sense for you guys, this is obviously an important game, but it's just one step along the road. Can you just kind of address that? How big is this in relation to, let's say, the playoff?
Oh, I mean, this game is huge. It's like you said, it's one stepping stone moving forward to the end goal. I mean, obviously, the way we approach it is during the season, when we're in league, to win out every game and to get to Indy. I mean, at the end of every highlight, every hit film that we have before game, at the end, it always ends with get to Indy. So now we're at Indy, and now it's not just to go out and get a Big Ten championship. It's also to win a national championship. I mean, that's why everyone came here to Ohio State, and that's why we worked so hard to put ourselves in this position to have the opportunity to be a playoff contender. So we don't want to just settle short for just being a Big Ten championship. Obviously, that is huge for us, but especially coming off last year, we also have bigger things in mind, which is a national championship.
Thanks, Wyatt.
All righty, we'll wrap Wyatt up with Nathan Baird, Cleveland.
Wyatt, just to put you on the spot a little bit, who on Ohio State's offensive line has impressed you the most this season? Like, if you had to pick who's been the best Ohio State offensive lineman, would you pick yourself, or is there someone else that you would pick?
Nick Petit. I would definitely say Nick Petit. He has really come a long way, man. And I feel like in those first games it showed. I mean, he's over here finishing guys down the film, and he's motivating me to go harder. And he definitely has stepped up to become a great player. I'm excited for his future, and he has improved the most to me.
All righty, Wyatt, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, Shaun Wade is ready for everyone. We'll start it out with Clay Hall from WSYX.
Hey, Shaun, good to see you again. We talked with a lot of the players about the ups and downs. It hasn't been a storybook season, but I guess it could be. Are you glad you came back?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad I came back. I came back like beginning of at the beginning of the year. So why not come back and just finish what I started? So I'm definitely glad I came back. We definitely we have fought through some adversity this year with COVID, so that's just life. And really looking forward to this game and just getting one check mark the way. So
Appreciate you.
Okay, next up, Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Thank you very much. Shaun, I'm just wondering, what just jumps out at you about Northwestern? I mean, they seem fairly unspectacular, when you watch video, and yet they've gotten the job done, 6 times out of 7 this year, or 5 times out of 6? And just what jumps out at you offensively about those guys?
very disciplined. They're a team that don't like to get, if you get them off track, they don't like that. So like for instance, they like positive plays. If they get a negative play, that hurts them. So that's a big thing. They stay on track. They have a good quarterback that came from Indiana. Played against him a couple of times, and he got some good. Some outstanding receivers on the outside. So they're a good team. I'm really looking forward to playing them. So.
And one other quick thing, you guys are playing for a 4th straight Big Ten championship. What is it special about this program that just sticks out to you? I mean, Jonathan Cooper was talking about the brotherhood the other day when I asked him that question. But from your vantage point, why are you guys, you kind of keep making history as you go these last several years, but why is this program where it is right now, in your opinion?
It's where it is because we're winners. This program is built on winning, and that's what I believe in. That's the reason why I came here. I won 4 states in high school, so trying to make it 4 Big Tens now. So we're winners here, and in the brotherhood, everybody's close, and we compete. It ain't no just like we're brothers, but at the end of the day, we compete. Like if you my little brother and we're fighting, like we're gonna compete at the end of the day. So that's one thing that we have, the traits that we have.
Thanks, man.
All righty, next up, Jared Smalley, WCMA.
Hi, Shaun. Obviously, you came back to Ohio State for a number of reasons, and probably the biggest of those is to win a national championship. How much? Obviously, you know how the system works. It's a little wild, but obviously, you want to not only win Saturday, you want to look good doing it. That obviously helps strengthen your case. Obviously, that isn't a part of your game plan, but mentally, what do you consider about the way the process works, about wanting to look your best, wanting to put your best foot forward to make sure there's no doubt when you get to Sunday and the opportunity to play in a playoff?
But it starts with practice. Practicing every day against the best receivers in the nation. It starts with practice. How you practice, how you gonna play. So that's where what I take it from and what I do every day. Is trying to practice and compete against the best receivers, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. It's gonna be very, very high draft pick. So that really starts with practice, in my opinion.
Does it matter to you at all, only having this shortened season where you've only played 5 games so far? You'll play 6 Saturday. Is that should that in any way be a factor in the equation of whether you play in the Final Four? The fact you've only played that amount, or does it really even matter?
To me, it don't matter, but I'm not the Final Four committee, so they make their decision on how they make their decision.
All righty, next up, we'll go to Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Shaun, when we talked to you on here maybe a couple of weeks ago, I think it was after the Rutgers game, and you felt you could improve in a couple areas, and we're kind of going over your performance, talked about kind of maybe going for some pass breakups instead of INTs. In the last, looking back now, your last couple of games, both Indiana and Michigan State, how do you feel you've done overall the last month and kind of working on some of the things you talked about before?
It's crazy because I talked about this with my girlfriend last night, but really, I still got a lot of room to get better at, and that's just I'm just hard on myself at the end of the day. So I feel like I always got a lot to improve on. Even if I'm looking good on the field, I'm gonna come back and be like, I know I ain't do this right. So I know I got a lot to improve on still.
Is there something you do feel you have? I know you have a lot to. You feel you have a lot to improve on, but is there something that you do feel you have improved on in the last couple of weeks?
There's a couple of things I have improved on as myself and as a team. I definitely think we have improved on a couple of things. So, but we still a lot to improve on. We played 5 games. Really looking forward to this 6th game and show some of the things that we did improve on. So,
thanks.
All righty, next up, Patrick Murphy, 247.
Shaun, a similar question, but is it frustrating for you and for the secondary? You know, you had that game against Indiana. You've only had 1 game since then to kind of show what you were able to do. There should have been 2 games added in that. I mean, is it frustrating that you can't improve? And then do you need those games to improve? Is there only so much you can get better on in practice?
I could agree a little bit. It's only so much because you go against the same people in practice, and the game is not practice. So that's definitely a big difference. And yes, at the end of the day, the whole team missed them games. Like that's what we came here to play games. We came to play games and get better in practice. But really, it's just this year. It's stressful. It's hard. But at the end of the day, we all are grown men and we're growing up. So.
All righty, we'll go next to Dan Hope, 11 Warriors. Dan?
Yes, Shaun. I mean, you mentioned, no regrets about coming back, but is it hard coming back for this one more year and then not getting that chance to play that one more game against Michigan?
Definitely. Definitely, because I only got one chance to play against them. So last year I didn't get to play because I was hurt. My freshman year I didn't get to play. I only played that redshirt freshman year. So yeah, definitely. I was mad. I was mad that they kind of backed out, but at the end of the day, it is COVID. Our health is definitely more important than the sport of football right now and for the world in general. So they had to make their grown man decision.
And I was curious, Josh Myers, Wyatt Davis, they were both kind of in the virtual senior day on Saturday. Was that something you had the opportunity to do and decided not to do?
Yeah, it was something I decided not to do because I'm still a junior, but we talked about it, little things about it, but it's stuff I just keep to myself.
Thanks, Shaun.
All righty, we'll go to Austin Ward, Lettermen Row.
Shaun, when you're talking about that mindset, we know that you never lost confidence in yourself after those, maybe that Rutgers game when we talked to you. But what does it do to your mindset mentality when you have some of that evidence that things are working outside when you go back-to-back games with picks?
That's just playing football, in my opinion. Going through the film and just making plays, and just getting better, letting the plays come to you, not trying to go to the plays. Because at corner, you got to let the plays come to you. You can't just go to the play and try to jump everything, or you're gonna get double moved or something. So that just comes with working on the film and just making the plays that come to me. So.
Yeah, I think that somebody, you've touched about this where it applies to the whole team, but for you, I mean, you wanted a full season to play on the outside, and you had basically, not even half of one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much more comfortable are you now than you were maybe in the middle of October? And where could you have gone if you got to play twice as many games?
I'm comfortable. I'm getting more comfortable. At the end of the day, like I said, a game is different than practice. So like we'd only play 5 games, so I can't tell you. But I'm definitely getting more comfortable. I go against the best receivers in the nation every day, so definitely I have to get comfortable. So.
All righty, we got time for 2 more, and Shaun's going to be our final interview of the day. We'll go to Mitch Stacy, Associated Press.
Hey, Shaun, you guys got into the championship game with just the 5 games, and I just wondered how much because of that do you feel like you've got something to prove this Saturday?
Oh, we definitely got something to prove. Like I've been telling a lot of my teammates, we got to blow them out. We have to come to play because that's we only play 5 games. Everybody else in the nation played 8 or more. So we have to come to play, and we have to show the world what we can do. So we definitely had a lot to improve on and a lot to show.
Thanks, man.
All right, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com. Nathan?
Shaun, I know some guys started getting mixed in here late in the season. Is there anybody else that you've seen through practice and workouts that you feel like from this underclassmen group that could still help this team in the secondary? Anybody that you're kind of eager to maybe see get on the field more?
Rocket had a good game against Michigan State. He had to step up. I feel like Marcus has been doing good, and really looking forward to prop playing this weekend, getting back. So really everybody has been doing their job and just continue to get better, and that's all we care about right now. Seven's doing better. Tyreek has got a couple burns and a couple burns in the game, so he's getting better. But right now, just worry about everybody getting better. We got a couple freshmen that's gonna be good, but they're freshmen at the end of the day. So, but everybody that's older, they're definitely getting better and just taking it week by week to get better and just keep on grinding and get to our goals.
All right, we'll actually sneak one more in from Jacob Benji from the Lantern.
Yeah, hey, Shaun. It was kind of touched on earlier how this is now the 4th straight Big Ten title game that Ohio State's played in. And I'm curious, now that you're a captain and you've seen Jeff Okudah, Damon Arnett, Jordan Fuller playing championship games, what's been the message you've been telling guys like Seven and Marcus Williamson and Marcus Hooker now that they get a chance to, play on this sort of a stage?
Really just play with confidence. Like I said, we go against the best receivers every day. So just keep on playing with confidence. Keep on grinding. Balls are gonna get caught on you. That's the world of playing DB. The internet's gonna talk about you. That's the world of playing DB. So just keep on playing with confidence. Don't care about the outside world. Just care about what's in the woody every day.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Spencer Holbrook's been waiting patiently. Spencer, go ahead with one last question.
We all wish you had a regular season, and we all definitely wish you had an extra game. The game is just different from practice. You're going against other people that you never played against before, and you get to it's just different. It's 15 minutes on the clock, 4 quarters that you get to compete against somebody you do not know. So you play different, you act different. It's just everything is different from practice. So playing in the game is way more that you need to play in games to get better. So. Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah, they happen. Right. They happen. I ain't gonna lie. And, we have our days, but it happens. Like you get burnt. You get burnt. It just happens. That's part of football. So.
All righty, Shaun. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Talk to you tomorrow for a little national